Welcome back, everyone, again to Bankruptcy with Ben. I want to take a quick step back for a second and just explain again what we're trying to accomplish with these videos. Bankruptcy is a unique creature, and for many people, it's standing as this big kind of barrier or problem, in a sense, that needs to be surmounted in order to accomplish what it is that they need in order to protect themselves. If you're a creditor, the bankruptcy is standing in the middle between you and collecting on what you're owed. And if you're a debtor, the bankruptcy is that path that you need to traverse in order to help you protect and salvage your assets, your business, your dignity. And so whichever side of the coin you're looking at, the bankruptcy is what needs to be navigated in order to get to that place where you're going to be in a better position. Now, for the creditors, the bankruptcy by itself may not necessarily be that better position, but if you have somebody knowledgeable with the bankruptcy world, they can help you navigate that problem, so to speak, that has now arisen and is preventing you from trying to collect on what's owed to you. And if you're somebody facing financial distress, you want to see if bankruptcy can help alleviate that distress, preserve your dignity. In order to do that, you need, again, help from somebody who's experienced with the bankruptcy world, knows how to navigate it. And that's what I'm trying to show with these videos. Whichever side of the coin you're on, my goal is to help you understand the waters of bankruptcy and show you that it's a very solvable problem. It's not an insurmountable problem. Now, with that backdrop in mind, one of the other things that we've discussed on this channel is if you're a creditor and there's a bankruptcy that's filed, if the debtor, meaning the one in bankruptcy, does not have money to pay you, you can't squeeze blood out of the stone. And while you may feel like you're getting the short end of the stick, if there's no money there to get paid from, it's not necessarily the bankruptcy that's causing you that distress. It's the fact that this person or company does not have money that's causing you to get shortchanged. However, with creative lawyering and a good knowledge of the bankruptcy world, sometimes you can find sources of money from other third parties. And the theory is that these other third parties were somehow in some way connected with the loss to you as a creditor. And if not for the conduct of these third parties, perhaps you might not have been in this situation that you now find yourself in. And one of these, I think, very creative methods used was in the FTX lawsuit. The FTX bankruptcy. As we've discussed on prior videos, FTX was a major cryptocurrency exchange run by Sam Bankman-Fried. It turned out to be a massive Ponzi scheme, and now Sam Bankman-Fried is in prison, convicted on many, many federal charges, and is not going to be seeing the light of day anytime soon. Okay. FTX was since taken over by an individual named John Ray. John Ray, his job was to essentially try to stop the bleeding of the company and try to fix things in order to navigate it through the bankruptcy process and to repay creditors as much as possible. John Ray claimed that he was actually repaying creditors in full. A lot of the creditors seem to think otherwise. A lot of the dispute centered around how you value Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into that. The point is that you have some kind of asset that could potentially fluctuate in value. And the difference in valuation is why some people are saying you were going to get paid in full, and some people are saying, no, we're not paid in full. Now, obviously, many of these creditors who think they're not getting paid in full, they decided we're going to try another route, okay? We know what we're going to get out of from FTX. So let's try something else. And what do? They sued a lot of celebrities, among them Tom Brady, Steph Curry, and many other high-profile celebrities. And we're going to see in a second a breakdown from Yahoo Finance regarding a major update on this lawsuit. So let's take a look. And this is the news. The FTX lawsuit against Tom Brady and Steph Curry and others is narrowed. So a federal judge narrowed but stopped short of dismissing a lawsuit by investors seeking to hold celebrities such as sports stars Tom Brady, Steph Curry, and Shohei Ohtani liable for promoting the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX. So let's take a step back. This is the point I'm getting at. These are creditors, and they're saying bankruptcy is causing us this problem. This problem is that we're not getting paid as much money as we think we're entitled to. But we exhausted our options in bankruptcy court, and at the end of the day, there's only so much money from FTX to repay us. So let's go after somebody else with deep pockets. Who? Celebrities. Tom Brady, Steph Curry, and others. Now, some people may think that this is kind of an irresponsible move and that people need to just take responsibility, and it's a known thing that celebrities are going to endorse products and get paid for it. And if you made the mistake and you invested in FTX and you lost money, you can't blame the celebrity. Okay, I can understand where those people are coming from. But those people are probably not the ones who lost the money. And the people who lost the money are saying, we lost the money, somebody's got to pay for it, because some people, including FTX, but others, were also responsible. So now, this is the very creative lawyering. And again, everyone can make up your own mind whether they like the move or don't. But just from a strictly legal perspective, this is where it takes somebody with knowledge of the bankruptcy laws. They say, okay, we cannot come after FTX. So what are we going to do? There's other people who are also responsible for FTX collapsing so spectacularly, and that is these celebrities, Tom Brady, Steph Curry. And what do they claim? They said the defendants ignored red flags and had millions of dollars of payments to promote FTX. And it was all part of Sam Bankman-Fried's plan to defraud them. Now, a federal judge issued a 49-page decision and dismissed 12 of the 14 claims, and said investors did not prove the celebrities knew FTX was a fraud, meaning celebrities did not have the intent. And that's a key thing for fraud, is you have to have bad intent. It's the intent that's important. You could do the same act, but if you don't have the intent to be, you don't have bad intent, your intent is not to trick somebody or deceive somebody, then it's not going to be considered fraud. And merely receiving payments did not establish this conspiracy. In other words, they're trying to say that Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, and all these celebrities conspire together to create this fraudulent scheme to defraud all these consumers into getting them to invest their money with FTX. Now, 12 of the 14 claims sounds like a lot, and the celebrities are probably going to say this is a victory. The judge knows this is all BS, and not only that, the judge dismissed 12 of the 14 claims and only let 2 claims survive. But at the end of the day, sometimes it only takes one claim to survive to be able to get a significant monetary recovery. So is it really such a win for the celebrities? Everyone's going to spin it as a win for themselves. And what did the judge say? His reasoning is that the judge's reasons is that the judge said the lawsuit against these various influencers, such as Tom Brady, Steph Curry, he said these investors could try to prove that the defendants violated Florida law by helping FTX sell unregistered securities, finding it plausible that FTX needed influencers to sell its product. Okay, that's very dense, but just going to break it down very simply. The judge is saying you have this lawsuit against various influencers, and it's going to be able to move forward. Why? Because it's possible, not necessarily true, but it's believable that FTX used these influencers, in other words, these celebrities, to push risky profit-making deals to the public without following legal rules. And these social media figures and celebrities, they were likely paid to promote the offers and convince everyday people to invest. That's the judge's ruling in a nutshell. And now we're going to see there's other high-profile people, David Ortiz, Naomi Osaka, Gisele Bundchen, Larry David, Kevin O'Leary, and the entire Golden State Warriors basketball team. If nothing else, I hope the Warriors lose badly in the playoffs. That would be, I think, a larger victory than any monetary victory could ever accomplish. So lawyers for the defendants did not immediately respond to requests for comments. So this means the lawyers for the defendants are realizing, hey, 12 to 14, not such a big victory. We wanted everything wiped out. Adam Moskowitz, who's a lawyer for the investors, he said the decision is a victory. So he's saying, this is good. 12 of the 14, okay, we got 2. That's all we need. Why? Florida law allows strict liability. What is strict liability? It means your intent is not important. All you had to do was perform the act. If you sold unregistered securities, meaning any kind of profit-making deal that you did not properly register with the government, then you don't need to know that FTX was a fraud. You sold something without going through the proper registration process. That in and of itself is enough. Okay, so we're going to monitor that and see how that all goes. The point I want to again bring out is it's a knowledge of that law, a very intricate knowledge of a very specific law. And that knowledge of that very specific law is allowing these investors to come and make a claim, and the claim at least survived the initial threshold where the defendants wanted the whole case thrown out, and the judge said, no, these 2 claims are going to survive and pass that initial threshold. And it's a runaround. And they're using these celebrities to try to get money when they couldn't get money from FTX. Again, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you think it's maybe moral or immoral or unfair to the celebrities, the law will ultimately play out however the law plays out. But the point is, again, knowledge of what you can and cannot do in a bankruptcy is going to be key to solving the problem of a bankruptcy otherwise being a barrier to recovery. So that's it for now. I wanted just to share that with everybody. Hope you got value out of it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see everybody on our next one.